I got to ride to Denton, Texas that day.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, to be there for Friday. Other than that, I'd have been in Austin. When is South by Southwest? Next week or this week?
Next weekend. That's when I'm going.
Yeah, I'd have been there. I'd take Trey to his turn.
Stacking up, no Texas game. Make a place after Mary Jane. Phone ringing must be a stain. Got the juice like punch, take a swing. Pat coming for your head like bang.
Next time I
Yo, Cigar Vibes, Cognac Conversations. And we're back. As the crowd goes crazy from all the cigar smoke.
Yes, indeed.
Now, so we left off. I had a question for you, J. Rob, man.
Go ahead, bro.
You say you've been doing this 4 years, correct?
Yeah.
What was your very first deal? How did you get into it? Coming from, you got a background in music from what I know. How was your first deal to get into real estate?
I'm gonna start off by talking about the transition. So, like I was talking to you guys off camera, the music business kind of slowed down. So I moved. I had opened up a juice bar in Dickinson, paying rent there, and my thought, anytime I go into any business, is always to own. Like, I never want to give away money with rent. I never want to give away money with just leasing something from somebody. And at the end of the month, if we don't make money and we don't pay, we got to move out, right?
Yeah.
So my thing was, in the back of my mind, I always knew I wanted to be in real estate. Like, I got that dream that everybody, well, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people say, oh, I want to be in real estate. I want to do this, I want to do that. So my goal was to go out and search and find out how I could get in real estate without having to break down and spend a bunch of my bread this time. Every other business I had, I always had to put my money up to get into the business. A lot of bread up, $10,000, $20,000. It's the juice bar. I think it was like $30,000, $40,000 or something like that.
I love juice bars. Good one.
Yeah, it was a good business, man. But we lost it to Harvey, so I was like, man, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting up $20,000, $30,000 and nothing, not getting it back. So I said, this time I'm gonna try to start a business off of a grassroots business, off of just my relationships with people, my morals, and I wanted it to be real estate because I wanted to get some kind of ownership in it, right? So I took 8 months off. I told my wife, I was like, look, I still got money coming in from designing. I had a couple clients. I said, well, I'll do those jobs. I was barely, I'm not gonna say I was broke, man. I was never that. I'm not gonna give you that false narrative like, oh man, I was on my last dollar and I got into real estate. It wasn't none of that. I always had a decent income. It was just that I was trying to look for something different that would be have more longevity and have more substance to it for me and my family, not just a check, right? Anybody can go out. Yeah, anybody can go out and get a check, right? That's the deal. Like, anybody can go get a good paying job and support their family. That wasn't my goal. My goal was how do we take this money that we making and make it grow even more.
Right.
So I told my wife, I was like, look, I'm gonna take a few months and try to figure out this real estate thing. I'm probably not gonna make that much money doing what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna just probably make enough so we can just pay the bills, right? Like no extras, right? We didn't buy nothing at the time. All of our cars were paid off. We had already went through the whole like little Dave Ramsey thing. The only thing we had was like the mortgage and maybe a credit card or something, right? So those couple months took me 8 months. I got a couple houses under contract. I was studying. I was watching YouTube videos, man, all day, every day for like I said, 8 months it took me to get the first deal, but I sold. But in the midst of trying to get that first deal that I sold, I got a couple deals, maybe like 2. I couldn't move them. I didn't understand the market. I didn't understand how to run a comp. A comp is what you determine how the value of a house is after repairs are made. So I in that time period, I figured out how to find the leads. I just know how to execute, right? So it's like, oh, we all know somebody selling a house, but how do we buy it and benefit off of it, right? So in the midst of that time, also, like I said, I learned how to do the comps a little bit better. I finally got one under contract, right? And I was telling the story earlier today to a relative. I got a house which was a probate lead. Probate is when somebody dies and their family member leaves them a house. So grandma died, or a daddy or mama died, they leave us the house. We don't know what the hell to do. we already got our bills that we trying to survive and make it and pay, right? So we can't take on another mortgage, or we can't take on another house, or taxes, or any of these other things, or fix up a house that we can't, we can barely afford to pay our own bills, right? So this lady in Lick City, I'm not going to use any names or anything, but this lady, her dad had passed, and she was a probate lead. I found her via the court records. Her and her dad didn't have a good relationship. Her dad was a smoker. He was bound to a bed. I think he had a nurse who came checked him a couple times throughout the day, but they didn't have a good relationship. So going in, I looked at the comp again, seeing what the value is on a house to determine how much I'm gonna offer her to buy. So she, in my mind, before I had even called, because I had already had these 2 deals that didn't go through, I'm like, man, I'm offering this lady $50,000 for this house. I think I can make about $5,000, $10,000 or $15,000 off the house, offering the $50,000. Like, I'll take whatever I can get. Shoot, $5,000 is better than nothing, right? Where we come from, $5,000 is a lot of money.
Damn straight.
Especially for something like that you ain't got to put no money up on it. So my first deal was a wholesale deal. I call her. Again, I'm getting ready to offer $50,000, but I'm listening to my wife this time. So, men, if you got a good woman, listen to your woman. My wife was like, hey, before you make her offer, ask her how much money she want for the house. I'm like, hell no, I'm not gonna ask her how much money she want for the house. She gonna give me some astronomical number. That's like me going to the car dealership and asking how much they want me to pay for the car, right? But I said, okay, man, all the stuff I didn't try. No, you good.
I was laughing at him. He messed up my inhalation. He said, don't do that.
I had asked her, I said, well, everything I try, man, I'm not gonna be the stubborn husband this time. I'm gonna go with what the wife say. So everything I tried didn't work. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna ask her. Hell, I lost a bunch of houses. Let me try. It ain't gonna hurt if I lose this one, right? So I asked her how much she wanted for the house. Now, mind you, again, I'm gonna reiterate. I was going to offer in my mind $50,000.
Right.
She was like, "Oh, I want $30,000 for the house." I'm like, "Oh shit!" But my hustling ass, I'm thinking, "Oh, you know what, man? I'll give you $27,000 if we can do it, whatever." She's like, "Oh, well, let me think about it. I'll get back with you." I called my wife. She's like, "How did the conversation go?" I was like, "Shoot, she talking about $30,000. She said, you was gonna offer $50, right?" I said, "So you got it?" "No, I didn't get it. I told her 27.
Baby finna put you on the couch.
Yeah. So she's like, "Boy, if you don't call that damn woman back and give her that $30,000, go about your business."
Right on.
I was like, "Man, shit, all right, let me call her back. I'm gonna call her back. Hopefully she answers the phone, because typically once you get off the phone with somebody in this real estate stuff, man, it's hard as hell to get them back on the phone. This is facts." So I called her back. I said, "I know you wanted $30,000. I was at $27,000. I said, how about I give you, still hustling, how about I give you $29,000, but we got to do it today?" So like, okay, cool, that works. Bro, I met her right at the Shell station.
I can't believe you just
on
couldn't get
96.
$30,000.
Look. Pick this.
That's sweet, ain't it?
I met her at the Shell station on 96 in League City. Signed the contract right there. She gave me a key. I put the house for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't have any buyers, right? I'm flipping the contract. Again, remember wholesaling, I'm flipping the contract. I ain't got to put up no money. All I put up was, I put $10 down on the house. On the contract, I got it to this day. I kept it just for proof. For anybody ever asked me how much money it costs to get into real estate, you can get into it with hardly nothing, man. You just got to know how to do the transaction.
Hold on real quick. In between that time for the listeners,
yeah,
how much time did you have in between that time so you had to close to figure it out?
Oh, anytime you sign a contract, you got 30 days. I mean, you put minimum 30 days. Sometimes you do 45, depending on if it's a probate, it's going to take longer. But me, first time out the gate, I'm doing 30 days, right? So I got 30 days to get her this $29,000, right? So I gave her I gave the title company $10 down, which made my contract solidified, made me official.
Say that again, $10?
$10, bro. $10. 10-0. I mean, 1-0.
Yeah, let me know what we talking.
1-0. So I took that. I took that little check to the title company, which made my contract official, right? So on the contract, I still got to give her 29 bands. So I got to find an investor who got the 29,000. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace. I put it on there about 10:30 in the morning. I met her at like 9:30. Got the key, ran to Tech City, took the pictures of the house. Went back to my house, put it on Facebook. Bro, my phone blew up from 10:30 to 4 p.m. I had people blowing. I had people from California, I didn't even know, calling me on Facebook like, man, I give you 10,000 earnest money to put down, and I give you 50,000 for the house. I'm like, shit, I'm finna make 20 man, 15,000, right? I'm going crazy. So but I was like, nah, I don't know you. I'm scared. I'm not knowing it's gonna work. I'm like, man, this is a scam, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, man, you gotta meet me in person. You gotta drop the money off to the title company today. So I had one guy, he's like, man, well, a few people met me out there. Then one guy was like, man, I give you 64,000 for the house.
Wow.
I'm like, shit. I'm like, bet. But mind you, the night before, kind of backtrack, I went to a real estate meetup. I met, not met, but I had a mentor, a guy who was helping me, who had a real estate meetup in the area. He would like have a whole bunch of wholesalers and investors meet up. We just talk about deals, right? He saw that I posted on Facebook. He sent me a text message right when I got my hand out to shake this man's hand for the 64,000. He was like, man, I'm like 15 minutes away. Can you show me the house? I'm like, damn, I'm finna shake this guy's hand. But yeah, go ahead, man. I'll tell him, I got somebody else who want to come see it, and my mentor or whatever. So he comes, he's like, he looks at the house, him and his partner, and he's like, man, I want it, but give me 2 hours to make you offer. I'm like, damn, I told this guy I was gonna shake his hand. If you ain't want it, I said, man, I can't give you 2 hours. I said, maybe I can give you an hour. So it's like, okay, cool, give me an hour. So I'm going to Office Depot in Texas City, over there by the old outlet, right? Right. I'm going over there. I'm printing up the contract that I downloaded off the internet for $50, bro. I'm printing it up. I'm like, man, I'm finna make a whole bunch of money off this deal, right? So he called me back at 1 hour on the dot, bro. He was like, how does 65,000? Now, mind you, I already had the offer for 64. He's like, how does 65 sound? I'm like, shit. Everybody want to pay me over. How about 66? You give me an extra 1,000, make me feel good, make me feel like I won. He's like, all right, cool. So mind you, he didn't even know how much I had the house for. Didn't know.
Hustler.
Didn't even know.
We needed that applause on that.
He didn't know. He didn't know I had the house for like $29K, right? Mm-hmm. So he offers me 66,000. Bet. Done deal. So I signed a contract with him for 66,000. Now, mind you, with probate, it still take a couple weeks for you to close. Mm-hmm. Title company got to make sure the title clear. That's like when you buy any house. Mm-hmm. It takes a couple of days. But in this case, it took like a couple weeks. So it took a couple weeks. Title was clear. Now, mind you, I get a closing date. That's the day that we all get paid. The seller get paid, I get paid, and the investor get the house. Right. He's like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yo, man, ain't no way in hell they finna give me this amount of bread off of a house. Like, it ain't this easy, bro. Like, I even told my wife, I was like, look, I put some money in the house. Like, come bail me out. I'm going to jail today. Ain't no way in hell they finna give me 30-something racks. 30-something racks for a deal like this. Like, this too easy. So, come to find out, the night before we closed, I looked the seller's, which was a lady. I looked her husband up. He a real estate attorney. I'm like, oh man, they really finna lock me up now. So I get to closing. They sign the documents. I'm like, I'm finna make $37,500 off this house, bro. So they sign it. And everything done. I'm like, when do I get my money? She's like, oh, your money gonna be wired. Okay, cool, bet. So I'm like, man, this is done. That's it. She's the escrow agent at the title company. She's like, yeah, Joseph, that's it. So I talked to the owner's husband, her and the husband after we signed our paperwork. She's like, the husband was like, man, we knew you was gonna sell a house. We don't care. We just wanted to get rid of it. We didn't want to fix it up. Like, we okay with you making your money. Bro, made $37,500.
I ain't never looked
that
back.
money was wired in my account the same day I paid out my wife student loans for this shit.
I gotta reiterate. He put down
$10.
$10.
Say it again. You get a round of applause for the $10.
That's 1 gram. If we're talking 10. Come on, man. That's sweet. Never look back, huh?
Yeah, never look back, man. After that, I got my second deal. My son played baseball, right? Mm-hmm. I had on my company shirt, my little branding or whatever. One of his teammates' dads came up to me and was like, yo, man, you flip houses or you sell houses to investors? I was like, hell yeah. He's like, man, you got anything? I was like, you know what? I got one today. I said, but I ain't got the contract. on it. Yeah, I just went and looked at it. So the next day, I was like, man, you know what, man? I'm offering this guy what he want on the house. Offer him what he want. He's like, all right, cool, man. We can close. I was like, oh, give me 30 days. You know, getting the 30-day process. The next day, my son had practice again. He's like, man, can we go see the house? Me and my partner. He's like, my partner is the guy with the money. I'm the guy who does the in the real estate industry. What we call it is the, like, I guess you can call it footwork or sweat equity. So he's the person who's actually there on the job site every day dealing with the contractors, while the other person with the money just sits back and funds the whole deal, right? So mind you, this the sweat equities guy whose son is on the same baseball team as my son. This is his first deal, right? So he's like, man, now again, this is 2 weeks after I done my first one. This one I'm only making $7,700, right? But shit, $7,700 for like 6 hours worth of work ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I'm still winning. It's better than nothing, right? So he buys the deal. They buy, we close. I get my $7,700. It's a long rehab process for him. The guy who's doing the sweat equity, he kind of fades out because he's overwhelmed by the project. But the whole time, I'm keeping in contact with the guy who got the money. I'm like, yo, whoever got the money is who I need to keep the relationship with. So the guy who got the money, man, this dude, man, I done like 12 deals with this guy. I call him. I don't even, when I got a house, I just send him a text message. It's done. You know.
So
relationship rapport being built.
Let me jump back. And this for the listeners or anybody that's interested. When you did that $10 or the properties you had that you weren't able to sell, did you already have was this already a business, or that was just a straight hustle at first you jumped into? Did you already LLC or DBA, any of that? Can you do that?
Yeah, let me get into that. So a title company, a real title company that's legit, is not going to close the deal with you without you having an LLC.
Okay.
I already was a high income, semi-high net worth at the time, right? So with me, I want to protect myself at all times, kind of like the conversation we had yesterday. When you got an LLC, kind of parlay into that, it takes away the personal liability. So I'm always thinking somebody gonna sue me for anything. Like, they don't like me, they gonna sue me, right? So everything that I do, I don't buy any properties under my personal. The only house I own under my personal home. And the hell, if I could, I would probably buy it under my business, right? Tax write-off purposes and a few other legality issues, right? But I had already LLC from day one, bro. I wasn't taking that risk. Because you got to think about it. If I sign a contract with somebody and I put down $25, $50 worth of earnings money, and I don't want to buy the house or I can't find a buyer, they might just try to sue me on GP. So I got to have some kind of protection, you know, just because I signed a contract with somebody. So I never signed a contract and still don't to this day under my personal name. You know, I just don't. I got to have the protection. I got 4 kids, got a wife, got a dog, got a nanny. I got people that I got to protect, so I can't put their life at jeopardy because some idiot want to sue me because they think I got a bunch of bread they can just take it. It don't work like that. Right. You know? So always protect yourself. Whatever you do, I don't care. You buying Jordans, you buying clothes, you buying cologne and eating out and all that shit, man, get an LLC, bro. You're wasting your time with the DBA. LLCs is where it's at. When you start making some real money, switch to S Corp so you don't got to pay no self-employment tax.
Salute to that. This is... I, for one, for the people who listening and know, started 2 brands, umbrellas, with this one here, Cigar Vibes, and Cognac Conversation being the second one, and I'm possibly a partner owner on another one that's in the works, with dog breeding.
Okay.
But I just want to say I did start with a DBA, not knowing, and that is one of the reasons I started this platform, the podcast side of it, to have people come sit down, have a nice cigar and some drinks, and have a good conversation about that. So a lot of people out there that want some information on where to start, how to start, a lot of things they're interested in, and real estate being one. What would you say, or what would you put out there for, let's talk about the kids, the high schoolers?
All right.
who got their mind right and know, man, when I come out of high school, man, I want to jump into real estate. But they really got their mind right. They might go to college, they might not. But what's the what, I don't know the word for it. What did you jump into? How did you jump into what would you tell them to look up? I guess curriculum maybe, or
nah, it ain't no curriculum, bro. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I even tell my son 10 years old, I always tell him, like, I don't care, my son loves baseball, so him being a kid, he always has the thought in his mind that he's gonna be a professional baseball player.
For the record, so far I've seen him. He's nice.
Thank you.
Let me get them applauses about you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's knocking them out the park out there.
He's academically very smart kid. Very. My wife was very smart in high school, in college, great doctor. But one thing we teach our kids, I don't care what you do, always be involved in real estate. I don't care if you become a teacher, a janitor, a principal, a nurse.
Own something.
It ain't even about just owning. Just be in the game. You gotta be in the game, man.
I low key, after hearing all this, I want to sell him my house like right now.
Man, hey, it's a seller's market.
It?
It's a seller's and a buyer's market.
Take that motherfucker.
Yeah, selling and buyer's market.
I love my house, but I love my house.
Well, I bought it on for that reason, and then also this is just me thinking. I don't know. I'm always thinking about someone else.
It's just me and Nipsey.
Ownership of this.
Oh, I already tried to get that cracking. It's like some international people, and they ain't never gonna sell. They own other properties. So once I had called,
I wouldn't sell either.
Yeah,
if I had y'all paying rent, I wouldn't sell either.
They are. I've been here for a while, like 6 years, 7 years. I know the nigga by name. Like, we all have a rapport. We the community.
Who's to say, just because you have a good tenant and you respect and you like, man, I'm well off. I really don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell no property.
Let me tell you why.
And he come at you and
let me tell you why that ain't gonna happen. Because we buy. So let me break this down.
Break it down. Sorry.
I'm gonna listen.
We as
high hopes for my homie.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do.
It would be even more dope.
But we as a black people, our first thought is, oh man, let me go and get this. Let me go and stack on my bread and buy this property, right? We thinking and hustling backwards.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't buying no properties by themselves. It's a team of them.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably like even the guy I was telling you about, right? The money guy who was the investor for the guy who was doing the sweat equity, right? So now that me and him have a relationship, he tells me every time he got money and he pay cash. He don't do no loans on no houses he buy from me. His thing is, Joseph, I can close in 2 or 3 days. I got cash. I just go to the bank and go get him a cashier's check. But what he does, I asked him, we sat in that conversation. I'm like, Dan, how do you get your money, man? I said the name. I probably shouldn't, but I'm like, how do you get your money to buy the properties? He's like, man, we put our money in the pool, and I just pull from the pool. And these people want they got to have their 10% back. That's all they want, their 10%.
You talking about trenches?
What you mean, trenches?
That's what it's called, a trench.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, I guess he called it the pool for me. So.
Let me pause you real quick. If y'all followed, I caught the homies in them podcast, Ghetto Boys. They ain't got no sponsors, I guess I can mention. So anyway, they had Johnny Dang on there, right? And they was asking Johnny Dang, how did he get into jewelry? How did he get into it? And for those who haven't seen the interview, he did the same thing, a trench or a pool. And it wasn't, he has family, he has brothers, but he had a gang of homies that were trustworthy, say about, I don't know, maybe 5 to 20 of them, right? Mm. And everybody put in, say, maybe 1,000. Yeah, and of course, they went and got their stuff overseas or whatever.
I was about to say that. I was like, you got to understand the cultural shit behind that. Yeah. So like how the Asians and shit, how they move, how they rock, how they come somewhere. Even Africans, Nigerians especially. You know what I mean? So when, like, going back to the original about this facility personally, it plays a big role because they're like, I want to say Arab probably.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when I found that out, I knew. I don't know. I was like, oh no, it's no dice. It's no amount of money because, you know, for them, they got several different properties. Like they're not finna, you know, and this is like build. You know, we built it how we wanted to. We can tear shit down. We can build. She can do whatever the fuck we want to do up in here.
Give a shit as long as you pay the rent.
As long as we pay the rent. So you know what I mean? It's really no better opportunity. You know, and
I wouldn't give a shit either as long as you pay.
I want to put that. I want to put that out there, man. I want that to be a real key note to the listeners or the people from our area for sure. You, man, we could do so much by putting in money together to own
exactly, but we don't have the cultural backing.
That's true, but I'm just putting it out to, if you got a group of tight homies, and now I'm talking about the streets, and y'all doing something, and you got a little bit of bread, and you, I'm gonna say like me, where I come from, you knew that this ain't gonna play out forever.
Yeah.
The same way you trusted them homies and that team to go score this and do that, man, y'all can really get together and go buy a building or a house or a lot, put in together, bro. Y'all do it to go score. Why not do it for the property?
We have the crab in the bucket mentality. I hate to use that analogy too, but it's true.
I hate
that's
that.
what made me say
I hate it, but it's so true.
I want to say, I want to say this because then we got like 5 minutes left on the show. But there is a crab in the bucket mentality, but I feel like if we really unpack that, it's not necessarily. It's like we're literally being set against each other and have been systematically. Like we're set up to be, you know, never be unified and never always have, you know, beef with each other. It's literally set up that way, down to drill music, to popular culture, to fucking media. You know, it's all, you know, it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
What was the word you used? Systematic.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. So that's why it's so, you know, it's so massive. You know, so I said that to say niggas is constantly exposed to this. So that's the mentality that they adapt, and they teach to their kids. So it becomes, you know, a way of life. And so for the crab in the bucket mentality.
So if I can add to that,
please do.
The culture is changing, bro.
Indeed, it is.
I know a lot of people, a lot of young Black, whether they're African, whether they're African American, Black individuals who are putting their money in pools, man, buying properties. I had a homeboy, it's been probably about 2 years ago. Well, not a homeboy, but his home girl. I knew her through him. They were putting $5,000 up to buy trucks. They made a killing, bro. And I was patting my feet the whole time because I got trust issues, right? I'm like, damn, I don't even know them like they're getting them $5,000. Man, that's crumbs.
You really want to be in business
crumbs.
With the right
They making $5,000 a month when they bought the truck. That's crumbs. I'm sitting up here patting my feet, acting scared. I spent $5,000 on food and clothes, bro, in a 2-month period.
Right.
I mean, all of us do when we really put it down. So, you know, the world is changing, man. We have to adapt, and you know, you don't have to like somebody to do business with them. Period.
That's big facts, and that's something as a older person in their 30s. You know what I'm saying? Something that I recently, because I have a military background, so I'm very into like loyalty and, you know, it's just like a frame of mind. But I've learned in this business especially, it's very limited, and to be able to separate the circles, like we have an inner circle and then a circle outside that circle and a circle outside that circle. Not to take it personally, but not everybody is like equipped with the ability to operate on the same levels, and that's unfortunate, but it's just what it is.
Yeah, facts.
You're not supposed to ask that.
I know, but I figured you could edit
2 minutes.
Okay, because I just want to put this out.
I'll let you close out. Go ahead, bro.
I want to put this out there, man, for my listeners. When I get listeners, I created this, man, Cigar Vibes Cognac Conversations, because I sit around since I started business and changed my mind frame. I always had the growth mind frame, but as far as business and getting around the right circles and connecting with the right people, entering doors and being at the table, I want my people back home and anybody else to grasp this. I have quite a few contacts of people I can reach out to and bring on this platform, like my man here. The next one's going to be an entrepreneur too. I just wanted to put that out. get this information out to more so the kids and the I'm gonna say high schoolers as well as our peers. It's people who got the mind frame, and we come up as kids and you see stuff on TV. You don't know a politician, you don't know a real estate agent, you don't know or anybody in real estate, you don't know a radio station host, you don't know someone that can put on artists. We got a lot of artists in our area. I created it so people can come on and put some of that advice and that game out for people. And plus, I could take it back to our area.
To see it, like it's impactful. You don't understand. You underestimate how impactful it is to see Black men opening up dialogue from where they from that look like them, but being on this level of success without having to kill anyone, without having to, sell pussy or you know what I mean, go to extremes. I know. Johnny, sorry.
It's facts, though.
His face, bro.
I'm just.
I dropped the P-bomb. My bad.
No. No. We don't. Ain't no. We can say whatever here, but I was gonna say, that's some good real estate right there. That's some good real estate right there. You. Yeah.
How can the people tap in with you if they
I'm on Instagram at jchris1985. I don't know my Twitter. I'm just getting on the Black Twitter thing, right? Facebook, Joseph Robinson.
Anybody have some houses they want to sell?
Yeah, man, we got some houses, man. Hit us up at the galvestonhomebuyer.com. That's GALVESTON home HOME buyer BUYER.com.
We should definitely get you some commercials aired here at Let It Gem Radio. Because I would definitely record your commercial. Because that shit sounded smooth, like.
Yeah.
I've done this before. I did it in my afterlife.
I can see it in your eyes.
You should also take them on the tour. I let them know you have a nice facility.
Oh, most definitely. We'll definitely do that.
2 more things. Also, put your information out there. I salute you. You're my homegirl, man. And I love what you're doing. And you allow me your studio and your facility to bring my platform to fruition. But put your information out there.
People definitely need to see y'all, for sure. I'm Miss Lovey, the queen of all things indie, MYSSLOVIE. Y'all know what it is. Love 2 Jam Radio. We own everything. Google us. Love the number 2 Jam. And congratulations to Let It Jam Radio. We Love to Jam LLC for their new acquirement of this nonprofit situation.
Congratulations. As the crowd goes wild.
Thank you. So I'm hoping that we can all do something together and make something even more. Start our own motherfucking trench.
For sure. Next episode, we will have another entrepreneur in here.
Okay.
Black man, elder man. He's going to come with a whole lot of game. So hopefully y'all tune in and be prepared.
Did you say a whole lot of gang shit?
I said a whole lot of game.
Oh.
GAME, not GAME.
Where am I at?
We no longer participate in a whole lot of game.
I was like, wait a minute. Wait, this took a turn. A brisk turn.
A whole lot of GAME.
Okay. You know that Galveston thing with the lingo. I be trying to catch it. Okay.
I'm transitioning. Before we get out of here, Joseph, man, give us 2 books, man. Either 2 books or 1 podcast that I'm gonna give you.
I'm gonna give you 2 books. That one is going to be the universal book that everybody gives out. It just changed my mindset, so I always got to utilize it. I even made my son read it when he was like 8. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read that. Plain and simple.
Definitely.
Second one.
Definitely.
Intelligent Investor. Yeah.
Intelligent Investor.
Yeah, the Intelligent Investor.
I got a third one. I usually ask the guests for 2. I'm reading. I'm almost done. Mindset by Carol Dweck. I don't know if y'all can see that. If it's...
Yeah, they can see it.
Yeah, Mindset.
It's not the right camera, but they can see it still.
It's out right
now. It's 5 of these hoes.
Hold that up there for me. Hold that up there for me. Mindset, man.
Yeah. Yes, perfect.
And with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in.
Wait. How do people reach you?
Oh man, I'm
social.
He ain't tell nobody nothing.
Yeah, I'm in
cigars and cognac. I mean conversations.
I ain't gonna lie, man. You see me when you see me.
You gotta at least make an Instagram for the show.
Well, I have an Instagram. The Instagram is Cigar Vibes and Cognac Conversations.
There we go. And with that. Oh, Johnny boy.
This girl is wild.
You the one that gave me the rum.
For sure.
Catch us next Friday. Oops.